Hello everyone, it's Virgilio Urbano, the Healthy Italian, and I'm going to show you how I make kombucha. I know there's a lot of videos out there, but I find that some of them are not always very helpful. So one of the things I take pride in is trying to make your life easier and healthier. And again, I have no monetary gain from any of this. It's just I just feel like I should spread the word. Kind of like if I was just newborn Christian, I'm kind of a nutritional evangelist, as some of my employees have said. So, a couple things you need. This is so simple to make. Some pure cane organic sugar. I get this at Costco, where I get anything I can buy at Costco, I always get there. So it's evaporated cane sugar. You need one cup for every gallon, so you can do the math. If it's a half gallon, when I first started off, I did a half-gallon batch. The problem with half-gallon batch, it's not a whole lot, and it does take 10 to 14 days or even more, depending on how you like your flavor. So you can go with a gallon if you want to start off. So you need sugar. You're going to need green tea. I like green tea. I guess you can use black tea also. Just make sure you don't use like Earl Grey or anything like that. That won't feed the SCOBY. So I got these again at Costco, a big giant box for like $6. And I assume that this is the caffeinated green tea. I'm sure you can do it with decaf. But those are the tea bags. If you can get them unwrapped without the string, it saves you, not have to open up all these bags and then cut the strings off, which I do. So what I do is I take some purified water. I am using reverse osmosis water. So what I do is I add a little bit of Himalayan sea salt and some sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda, and I add a little bit to that. I don't measure it, I just put some in. I've made it without it, but I was reading that the trace minerals do help feed the bacteria. So you can also buy the trace minerals that are concentrated, and you put a couple of drops in. So when I was at Costco, where else, I found this glass container. I was looking online, and there's places that are charging $300 for your kombucha kit, and it makes 3 or 5 gallons, I don't know, whatever. But it was a lot of money. And basically it's a glass jar. So I found this, it was $28, and one thing that's super important, it's not any glass jar, is that the dispenser on it is stainless steel. So that's real important because the kombucha is very acidic. So I made one batch in this already, and it was fantastic, no issues. So just an idea, if you find something, this holds 3 gallons, so I'm making 3-gallon batches. I actually let it, and I just bottled it a little while ago, so 5/27 is when I bottled it, and today is the 11th. So I let it go 14 days, and and the longer you let it go, the less sugar and less carbohydrates, which I'm trying to prevent. So, and not absorb anyways. So on this one, I threw in some chia seeds, and I'm just going to let those float around. At the store, I see they sell them, for $3.50, and this is just a regular one. And I made, I think, 22 bottles, and I saved all the bottles of the ones that I bought, and which again, the labels off are a nightmare, but it's nice that I have the bottles I could take with me. And I probably have about 30 bottles. So now, since I just got done with that batch and bottling it, I'm going to make another one because it does take 2 weeks. So what I did is I took some water, purified water, got it boiling, threw in my 3 cups of sugar, turned off the gas, let it dissolve, and then I threw in my 12 tea bags. And so it's 4 tea bags for every gallon. So I put in 12 tea bags. So this is already ready to go. So I'm just going to pour that in, and all the sugar is dissolved, and the tea. And the most important thing, obviously, is our SCOBY, our symbiotic bacterial yeast. And Let me see, we get a closer look. I have actually quite a few scobies in here. I had one that people gave me, one that I did, and since it's such a big batch, I really wasn't sure. And you can see this was on the top, and then these are the scobies underneath, and they call it the baby, and you know, and this green stuff that floats around is part of the SCOBY. So, you know, at first you're all freaked out about, you know, mold. It's really kind of hard for this to mold with all the acidic, but a couple things that you should do is you always should use the last batch of kombucha, and that's already fermented and is very acidic, and that helps prevent mold. And I also always add, I read that you can add some apple cider vinegar, and I use the Bragg's Organic. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of that in there, and I did that on my last batch also. And then when you put the SCOBY in, it is going to sink to the bottom, you know, and well, maybe not. So I have actually quite a few of them, and I'm throwing those all in here because I just, you know, it's a big batch, and I didn't know really, and I'll probably be sharing this. And then I'm going to use the old kombucha just from my batch, and this needs a little bit more water, and I'm going to get that up to here so that the SCOBY comes to the top. So where do you get a SCOBY? You can borrow it, you know, have it like a friend, and he can share it. And really, all they do is they'll take the SCOBY and they'll peel it in half and give it to you, or you can grow your own. And it's very easy to do. It just takes a little bit of time. You go and you buy. This is JT's, the original organic unflavored kombucha, and what that does, you just pour that in a glass jar, and you put a filter over the top or a paper towel with a rubber band, and probably 3 weeks you'll start to grow your own SCOBY. And that's how you can get your own if you can't find one. I know you can, I think you can buy them online, but you know, I don't remember if I got one or not. So here I have my big giant filter. I'm going to put that over the top. And you know, I put a rubber band. I put a date on it, which is 6/11, which is today, and I put it in a kind of just a cool, out of the light, you know, area, and I'll have kombucha that many days, you know, in 14 days. So you know, I know in the beginning you're going to want to, you know, you're not going to be sure like I was. I made small batches, and you want to try it. And you don't know how long to let it ferment. Everything's different. Every recipe is a little different. So the best thing to do is take a straw and taste it. And if you want it sweeter, then you ferment it sooner. If you want it less sweet, then let it stay longer. You got to remember that the SCOBY does feed off the sugar. So you know, you don't want to go too long because you can jeopardize killing your SCOBY. So I hope that helps you. It's simple. Once you get to it, you know, getting the SCOBY is probably the hardest thing. And once you get it, you start making your own. And you know, at $3.50, $4 each, depending on where you go, you know, I just made 22 bottles, so that's close to $90. And it literally took me, you know, 20 minutes to make. You got to boil water, throw in sugar, tea, fill this up. It takes longer for the reverse osmosis to probably do the water than it does for you to make this. So I hope this helps you, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.